Hello, 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 everyone. How are you doing? It is Saturday night, and it's not the loneliest night of the week because we're doing a live stream. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I haven't streamed like this in a while. I've been kind of doing a little bit of Call of Duty zombie stuff on the side, but spooky season's over, so thought I'd return to this format for a little bit. And I've seen a lot of stuff. I had a great time in person with Bonebridger, the Doolies, John Automates. We had a whole big live stream in person last Friday. So if you are a member of Bonebridgers, you can watch that. We were all in person in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And my goodness, that is a wild place to be. I thought I'd seen everything, but I had not. Yeah, so we're going to get into it. We have like 3 topics that I want to talk about, and I'm going to say hi to some people first. Hope you had hi Justin, thanks for stopping by. Hope you had a blessed stream, Nerdy From Girl. It's good to see you back. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm gonna try to fit these in more often, especially because I've been seeing more things. And it's getting closer to Oscar season, so that means some good movies are actually coming out. Arden, thanks so much for joining. How's it going? Hey, Nerdy Film Girl and everyone. And then we have Luke in the house. What's going on, Tracy? Hope you're well. I am doing splendid. And again, happy Saturday night to all of you. Let's jump into the first topic. I don't really know which one I want to do first, but let's do. Oh, let's talk about. Why not? We're going to talk about the Safdie Bros. So the Safdie Bros made a lot of great movies together, and then they split up. And this year, they each had a film that came out. One is The Smashing Machine. That's what Benny Safdie put out with The Rock. And we have Josh Safdie, who is putting out Marty Supreme. I haven't seen it yet, but the reviews are insane. I'm going to actually pull some of the reviews up from Marty Supreme because I just can't wait to see this movie. One Battle After Another to me was the #1 movie of the year so far. But this might be second, or maybe this will take over One Battle After Another as #1 in my book once I see it. I think it's a wide release Christmas Day. But a lot of you people that have seen it have been tweeting about it. And I just have to talk about some of these things that we keep seeing. Someone says, Marty Supreme is the equivalent of a cinematic panic attack, an anxiety-riddled dream that quickly turns into a nightmare. Timothée Chalamet gives the best performance of his career, a masterclass in subtle transformation, the best film of the year. Josh Safdie killed this. Another one. It's tense, it's funny, it opens eyes to a new world, it's surprising. Chalamet truly transforms, and Odessa Azion is an absolute force. Josh Safdie knocked it out of the park and through the moon. And we'll do one last one just to really drive home the point here. Got to see a special screening of Marty Supreme last night and still can't shake the electricity of the experience. Chalamet is on fire in what's undeniably the best performance of his career. Safdie delivers a sharp, heart-pounding film that keeps your eyes glued to the screen. So if that movie doesn't sound like a banger, I don't know what does. And the fact of the matter is, poor Benny Safdie. I don't know why he chose to make The Smashing Machine. I saw it. It's not like a bad movie, but it's honestly a very who cares movie. Hey Tyler, how's it going? What's going on? We're talking about the Safdie Bros and the choices they've made recently, because one's a hit and one was lukewarm, to say the least. Oh, nice. Thanks, David. Thanks for stopping by. We're talking Safdie Bros. It's really surprising because Benny Safdie to me seems like the more outlandish guy from what I've seen. His projects have been solo, especially working with Nathan Fielder, things like that. And I know he has dabbled into a lot of acting where I don't believe Josh has at all. However, one of them put out a mediocre movie, and one of them put out apparently one of the best movies of the year, if not the decade, just like One Battle After Another. So this is going to gain tons of Oscar buzz. And that's what The Rock was hoping was going to happen for him with the Smashing Machine. Again, it's not a bad movie, but like I kept wondering why they made a movie about this guy, because they didn't talk about how he was heavily involved in the beginning years of MMA or anything like that. It was just kind of like, okay, this guy has some drug addiction problems and a bipolar girlfriend. That was about it, and it really wasn't that. I don't know. I just kind of left very, who cares afterwards. I barely remember it. I can barely remember the name of it at this point. And Marty Supreme seems like it's just taking over the world right now. So I cannot wait to see Marty Supreme in December. Hopefully, I get an earlier screening, but we'll see. Justin Timothy trying to win an Oscar. Well, you know what? That's what they're saying. They're saying that he's going to win it for this. I don't know if Josh Safdie is going to win Best Director, based on the fact that Paul Thomas Anderson's never won an Oscar and everyone loves One Battle After Another. I think it is really going to be the race between Marty Supreme and One Battle After Another. I don't want people to think that I think the Smashing Machine is the one to beat because of the way that the image looks right now, because it does look like one versus the other. And it is in a sense, but it's really just better luck next time, Betty Safdie. I still believe in you. You know, it's just interesting. It's like the Coen brothers, you know, when brothers that make movies as a team and then they go their separate ways, and sometimes one of the brothers can't really make something that great on his own. I don't know. I'm not saying Betty's incapable of that. I don't think that's true. But the Coen brothers, I mean, I can't remember a movie that either of them have made solo. Maybe Macbeth. I mean, everything else they've put out kind of looks similar and also doesn't look that good. When I'm talking about their solo projects, I want the Coen brothers to collab again. Please become friends again. I think they're like on fine terms. They just want to do things by themselves. But I mean, a career of what, 15 movies at least that are all incredible, that you made together, and then you started making movies on your own and it just did not work out like the way you'd hoped. Max is here. Welcome all you cool people. Thanks so much for stopping by. He's at work, being supportive as always. Well, it's called Smash. Yeah, that is true. I think we're gonna skip ahead to the next topic. But if you are looking forward to seeing Marty Supreme, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Also, if you've seen The Smashing Machine, do you disagree with what my critique is of it? Because it's really just like such a forgettable movie. And I know that Dwayne Johnson really thought he was probably going to get an Oscar nomination. I wonder if he'll get a Golden Globe nomination, because that kind of feels like the spot for him, if anything at all. You know what I mean? Like bare minimum. Tyler says, looking at the Coens solo projects, I take that as a sign a reunion between them wouldn't. Oh, a reunion between them wouldn't help. Like it's just they're just not there anymore. Is that what you're saying? Like there's just no hope? I'm so curious. Have you seen any of their solo ones recently, Tyler? Because I haven't. I've seen trailers for them and I've skipped them. But maybe I should give them a chance if you can recommend one that's good. So we're going to switch it over. I think we'll talk about. Okay, we'll talk about another film. I guess we'll save Running Man to the end because I don't really have tons to say on the Running Man. But this movie I do have a decent amount to say on because it is crazy. Let's see really quick. One Safdie bet on the wrong horse. Yeah, I'd love to know how that came about. You know, maybe. I don't know, just maybe if they just chose another guy to make it about too, or again, set the story a lot earlier in MMA and why he was really crucial to the formation of that. I would have found that much more interesting. I feel bad for The Rock because he really tried to give a good movie. Yes, he did. And again, the movie's not bad. It's just like no one cares. Like, I'm sorry. Like I think people thought it was going to be like the next Iron Claw, which totally got screwed over by A24. So I feel this is actually, oh my God, I'm thinking about this now. A24 totally dropped the ball on promoting or campaigning Iron Claw for the Oscars that year because they couldn't handle more than 2 movies. And they had a decent amount of movies that year that they were campaigning for the Oscars. So they were like, never again. Let's get this out early. Let's campaign the hell out of it. And it's nowhere near as good as a movie as Iron Claw. So, yeah, I mean, it's not like a bad note for on either Benny Safdie or The Rock's careers. Like, it's not like looking at them being like, "Oh man, like what a stinker." Like, no, it's just like whatever, and that's okay. But Benny Safdie, bring it on next time. I'm excited to see what you do next because I know you have more in you than what we saw with that film. Yes, Joel's Macbeth was great. A German expressionist version of the play. Drive Away Dolls just bored me to tears. Dude, Drive Away Dolls looked so boring. I'm so glad you said that. I think everyone was kind of like, it's like another who cares type of movie. So that's why I didn't go out of my way to see it. It was Johnson's idea to have Safdie make a Mark Herman. Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm sure The Rock, Dwayne Johnson is very persuasive. He seems like he probably makes people get really psyched and pumped up to make things. So I don't blame him. I just think I think he could have used his time better. Sing and a miss is better than nothing. I think you mean swing and a miss. I know you're driving, David. Swing and a miss is better than nothing or more slop. I absolutely agree with that. And that's why I'm not going too hard on that movie. I was hopeful, and I don't even like The Rock, and I went into it blind because I do think that you should do that and get rid of your preconceived notions about people and actors and things like that. But and he did a good job for what the script was. He really did. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the craziest movie I've seen recently. I actually saw this in Knoxville. This is Bugonia, and I saw this in Knoxville because we had to stay an extra day because we couldn't get back to New York because of all the travel chaos. But at least we got to see Bugonia. So, because this was such a fascinating movie. Um, is it my favorite Yorgos? Probably not. But my goodness, the acting in this movie is outstanding. You have Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons being just incredible acting chess players playing acting chess with each other the entire time, and it's glorious. Jesse Plemons, I think, deserves an Oscar nomination for this. I mean, he was just absolutely amazing. I don't think he's going to win. I think the competition is already, I mean, locked in. Really, really, really tough. Again, I think I don't know who they're going to push. Leo, I don't think is going to win for One Battle After Another, but he might be nominated. And there's also a lot of other films that haven't come out yet that we haven't seen. But I do think that Jesse Plemons should absolutely get nominated. I loved the whole, is she an alien? Is she not an alien? Because you're kind of going back and forth the whole time, like maybe Jesse Plemons, this crazy conspiracy theorist, is onto something. I hate film Twitter though, because the twist was, well, the ending, and I'm not going to spoil this for you at all, was ruined because Max, I guess, saw on Twitter the ending was all over the place, and what the truth was all over the place. He didn't mean to spoil it. I think he thought it was just part of the movie because people were openly talking about it so much, and I hate that because you should definitely go into this as blind as possible, I think, to feel the effects of the script. Let's see. I'm just going to jump in here and then we'll keep talking about Begonia because it's just it's wild. I liked Poor Things more, but I really enjoyed watching this. It's so different. It's like Poor Things is kind of like so out there, and I don't even know if I could rewatch Poor Things that often. I could rewatch Begonia multiple times. Like I could definitely throw it on again and really see now knowing the end. You know, just enjoying it even more, like the layers. And and Emma Stone, I know I was going on about Jesse Plemons. Again, gives an incredible performance. Do I think she's going to get nominated? I don't think so. She could easily get nominated, but she already has 2 Oscars and she just won one 2 years ago. So I don't know if she's going to get nominated. If she gets nominated, sure, but she's not going to win. But what a great performance in this. Jesse is a good actor, yes, and I think this is his best performance to date. I genuinely think that. There's no one walking away from this movie thinking that Jesse Plemons just wasn't outstanding. I mean, I saw sides of him in this movie that I've never seen in any role he's ever done. So many colors to his character. I mean, it was so good. His performance. Bugonia was wildly hilarious. Yeah, I also think it's definitely a dark comedy, and I feel like there's people online that don't look at it as that. I think a lot of Yorgos' stuff is very tongue in cheek and a lot of satire. especially the end. I mean, the end, there's a lot of satire, and it's a dark, very dark comedy, to me at least. Yeah, spoilers got him. That is absolutely true. Can't believe I'm saying this. Kindness of Kindness and Bugonia are turning me into a Yorgos fan. Ooh, Tyler Wolf. I haven't seen Kinds of Kindness because I have no idea. Like, shame on me. I need to see Kinds of Kindness at this point. I know that it's so polarizing. Like, some people loved Kinds of Kindness and some people absolutely hated it. So I really need to check out that sooner than later. And honestly, watching Bugonia made me want to check it out even sooner because I was talking about Kinds of Kindness recently with someone. And I was like, I can't believe I haven't still haven't seen it. Well, I've a couple of uh douchey commenters tell me how bad Begonia was. I mean, if okay, I mean, I don't know. It's like I don't even think you could say it's bad. Like, even if you don't love the end, like, you've gotta get the wink winkiness of it, you know? Um, did you saw Begonia, Tyler, right? Because, like, then you'd get what I'm saying. Like, that whole ending is such a wink wink at the audience and such a, like, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna take it up to this level," and, like, sorry, the flat earth thing, I don't even think that that's really spoiling anything if you haven't seen it. When I saw the flat earth thing, I was laughing so much because it was so perfect. It's like everything that crazy person that you know talks about, what if that was potentially possible? So it was, I don't know. I thought it was great. I do think the ending was rushed though. I do think that, like, we went from, like, I don't know, like, to 0 to 180 or 360 like really 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 fast. I don't think that's the right way to say what I'm saying, but it just kind of was like, oh my god, like, okay, oh wow, we're doing this. Oh, okay. So, and I do kind of think it could have lingered on a little bit more she finds out when she goes into his basement and sees the stuff in his basement, because I liked that that was the reveal, but I also think we could have been a little bit more, like, in suspense during that time. Let's see. Tyler says it was an attachment to the movie Begonia remade and how it was apparently smarter, but their attitude just didn't convince me to believe them. Oh, okay. Because isn't it based off of is it a Korean film or a Japanese film? Um, Plus, some moron seemed convinced Begonia was misogynist just because it's two guys kidnapping a woman. I would. Oh God! But she's a CEO, so how would it be misogynist? I mean, I get it. But that's also kind of the point too, because sometimes a lot of the conspiracy theorists sometimes are also part of the incel community, and so I kind of got that from vibe from Jesse Plemons. But it would be, that's why the tables get turned so much. I don't know. I think that works actually, because of course it's a female powerful CEO and she must be an alien and there's all these reasons why, and she's evil. Um, Oh yes, some Korean movie called Save the Green Planet. Yeah, now I really want to check that out. And I love to that it's such a great she has such great line deliveries. Like, I know it's in the trailer, but when she's going on and on and on to her secretary and saying, like, they're trying to, like, have a new mentality at the corporation and they don't want to overwork people, so tell them to go home at 5:30, like, we don't want to continue what we've been doing, but also, like, they should really keep in mind that this is a company and we don't want we're running a business here, so if they have work to do still, they should definitely still finish their work after 5:30. Like, that whole thing was so good. She just completely disappears in every role she does. And that's why I thought she was just great in it. I don't buy the misogynist angle, considering his whole motive was trying to save a woman, not to mention Stone's intentions aren't always. Yeah, for sure. The movie itself wasn't misogynistic. I think, yeah, if you can probably, if you want to, like, say maybe a guy like that has, like, deep mommy issues and, like, maybe doesn't like women that much, but I don't think the film's message was misogynistic at all. I so that that's bizarre. um it needs to be required viewing. Yeah, it should. It absolutely should, and it's such a great time because I feel like no one trusts anything anymore, and I think that's why it goes in so many different directions that you're not expecting. I have to bring this up though because on Variety, I think it was Variety or the Hollywood Reporter, and I just had to share this on Instagram. There's a quote coming out by Dakota Johnson, and she's like trying to say that Yorgos should work with other actresses, not just Emma Stone, and she'd love to work with him. And I'm like, girl, like read the room. Like you can't act. Like I'm sorry, but Dakota Johnson, don't ruin any more Auteurs movies. You already ruined Celine songs. Don't ruin any more Auteurs movies. Like just pick a lane. Like I don't know. I don't even know what she should be doing. I mean, I think maybe the superhero route would have worked for her if she had been in a good one. Because I really don't know what else you would put her in. I really don't. Dakota Johnson just, oh, I don't know. Yorgos, stay away from Dakota Johnson, please. Whatever you do. Let's see. I'm glad movies like Bugonia and Eddington exist to just say, yes, I know. I think it's I think in like in hindsight, in like 15 years, and we can all like look at this year of film. And I think that there's a lot of similarities with movies like Bugonia and Eddington. And everyone's just like on high alert for misinformation and conspiracy theories and a lot of stuff like that. And I think that everyone knows someone that has either gone too deep off the rail, and everyone has also kind of like dipped their toe into a conspiracy theory here or there. So I think it's an interesting time for film and a very poignant time with both of those movies, Tyler. Okay, so I don't really know what else to say about this without spoiling any of it, because it is so easily able to be spoiled, and I really do think you should go in blind. So we will just go to The Running Man, and I'll bring that up. Okay, so I want to preface this by saying Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors. I think Hot Fuzz is one of the most rewatchable movies and most enjoyable movies I've ever seen. I really love his stuff. I have not seen Last Night in Soho. I do plan on seeing that at some point just because I heard it was really almost like an adventure in filmmaking, the way he did what he did. I wish I could say the same for The Running Man. Now, I didn't hate The Running Man. I had an enjoyable time. I think I'm not the first one to say this, I'm sure. I think the biggest problem with this movie is the pacing. And I also, for some reason, in the first 20 minutes, like I did not think Glenn Powell was believable in his line delivery and his motivations, which are so weird because the guy can act. And like after the first 20 minutes, once things get going, he's great. And I don't know what was going on set, but it felt like a very shallow version of Glenn Powell for the very beginning stuff. Oh my God, yes, Lee Pace. Lee Pace was great. You don't really see his face that much, but he was a good villain. But I gotta say, like, as far as the world building went, I completely believed I was in this dystopian society where the rich live in this completely separate area of the city. And they watch these crazy shows. And there's an episode of Black Mirror that was made obviously after The Running Man from the 80s, I believe, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, with oh my God, what is his name? I'm blanking out on it right now, but it was like the first or second season of Black Mirror. And it's very similar. It's like those outrageous game shows, and it's like kind of disgusting, and it's very violent, and that gives you a chance out. So it's not like this hasn't been done before. I do think that the first film is a lot campier than this, and I liked how the tone was a lot more serious. And I think all of the supporting parts, like Michael Cera and William H. Macy, I think were great. I just don't think it felt like an Edgar Wright movie. There are moments like there, and I think this was in the trailer too. There's like an action sequence where he's just running through the hall and like shooting at people, and he goes into an elevator and all that. Like that felt very Edgar Wright, but a lot of the rest of it didn't. And I'm like a little let down with this movie because I thought it was going to be like fantastic because I thought Edgar Wright would be like the perfect person to do this. And so I'm just wondering what happened. It felt like he was very unsure of himself and second guessed himself as a director. And I don't think they went too over the top. I'd love to does anyone know the budget? I'm going to look that up right now. Because I think for like what it was, it looked like they stayed to a pretty I'm sure they spent some money on it, but it looked like the budget wasn't outrageous. Um Running Man budget. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Now You See Me's out. I didn't see that yet either, but I need to see that. Okay, the budget was 110 million. That's not terrible. That's kind of like Predator. Predator had, I think, $100 million budget, or maybe 110, somewhere around those lines. Predator was a better movie for sure. Oh yes, thank you, Johnny. Thank you so much for stopping by. 110 million. Yeah. It looked good. I just the pacing just really bothered me. It felt way too long. And it didn't blow me away like I thought it was going to be. I think some people are going way overboard saying it's the worst thing they've ever seen. I don't think that's the case at all. I do think they did a great job with incorporating AI and showcasing that like media is now like in this dystopian world is completely changing what people do on camera and making them say things they never said, showing them do things they've never done. And I think that's what's one of the scariest things about AI in the future, because it's absolutely already happening, and it's absolutely already happening in ways we definitely don't want it to happen. So to me, that the fact that that was showcased in a really smart way was really good, and I really liked Josh Brolin. I think did an excellent job being the villain. Coleman Domingo was fantastic, but he's always fantastic, and that was a great role for him. So I would say like go into it expecting it not to blow you away, and I think you'll have a fun time. If you're expecting a lot more, you're going to be very let down, because I was very let down in a lot of ways. Still had a good time though. As far as again, like I love this type of sci-fi. I love this type of world building and this dystopian stuff. I could watch a billion movies that have to deal with that. But it just really I don't think I could rewatch it again. I mean, I maybe, but I don't really see the point in rewatching it again. I definitely want to rewatch Bugonia, though. I'll tell you that, and I'm sure after watching Marty Supreme, I'll want to rewatch that. Well, I think that's about it. I mean, I don't really think there's anything else that I need to talk about. I'm glad that we got this in today. I'm gonna try to do more of these and maybe do like more than 3 subjects, maybe like a 4th or a 5th. I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to see next. I mean, yeah, I do want to see Now You See Me 3. They're kind of like just goofy movies that I like. Why not, right? I mean, they're kind of like in a very cynical world. A movie like Now You See Me 3 just kind of makes you feel good. Thanks, David. I'm glad you could be here too. Stephen King is raking it in. Yeah, oh my god, he is. I really want to see Welcome to Derry. I have not checked that out yet, but that's been high on my list. I just got HBO back again, so hoping that I can start that sooner than later. And oh, Justin, thanks so much. Had fun tonight, Tracy. Thank you. I got to get my Zootopia tickets, and I got to get my Wicked for Good tickets, Marty Supreme tickets. I think there's something else coming out on Five Nights at Freddy's. I'll watch. I don't know why that I know I just say this all the time. I don't know why Five Nights at Freddy's didn't come out in October. It just makes absolutely no sense. But yeah, there's some cool stuff coming out soon. Hamnet, I'm getting ready for Hamnet. I keep hearing how sad it is, and it's apparently glorious and wonderful and stunning. And I need to just get tissues ready to see that, to torture myself. That actually could get oh my god, what's his name? From After Sun. We all love him. Oh my god, and Gladiator. What the hell is his name? Why am I blanking out? I always like blank out on names during live streams. I want to say Paul something, but I don't think that's right. Someone in the audience knows exactly who I'm talking about. After Sun, Gladiator. Oh man. Okay, well, he's in Hamnet and he plays Shakespeare. And it's Chloe Zhao directed it. So I think Chloe Zhao is finally going to be able to redeem herself from the Eternals. That poor woman. Okay, well, okay, let me just do this because it's going to kill me. Let me do this. Um, and as soon as I see his name, I'm gonna end it on that because I just can't believe I love him so much. Oh my god. Okay, I'm getting all the producers' names and not who's in it. Cast Paul Mescal. I knew it was a Paul, and a very fine Paul indeed. Well, oh, thank you. Yeah, this was a little too late, but because I didn't check, you nailed it though, coming in clutch with the name there. Yeah, so I think that that's going to be it for today. So as the season progresses and more movies come out, I will be doing this more, and hopefully some out of theater reactions, fun things like that. Maybe some S tier lists. I don't know. We're gonna try to do something at this channel. Figure it out, and better get those Wicked tickets because they're selling like hotcakes. I'll tell you that. Yeah, thanks so much for stopping by, and I will see you guys soon.